We are
The
live.
stream is live.
What's the first thing you want to make fun of Bobby about?
I knew that was coming.
Elle had
We
never
gotta
seen
ease into
Bobby. Elle had never seen Bobby, and the first thing she asked was, "Does he look like Bobby off King of the Hill?" And I was like, "He'd be a lot cooler if he did."
Now, if I shave this beard and take my hat off, I'm pretty close. I'm the same shape.
You
My,
never wear a
My
white t-shirt.
stepdaughter just stepped in the room and says, "Do you want to try something?" So we're gonna see what's going on here. I'm not sure
That's
exactly
yeah.
what's going on.
Well, we'll let you update us on that as we go.
We'll be live.
What a all right, Ryan, did you say you're not going to Catfish Conference, are you?
When is it?
Last
Week of February.
So not this weekend, but the next weekend.
Yeah, I'll be in Iowa City.
Okay.
Iowa wrestles Oklahoma State. So it'll be number 2 versus number 3 in the nation.
That'll be a good one.
Yeah.
They almost lost to Nebraska.
They should have lost to Nebraska. I'm not sure what's coming, but something's coming.
The look on your face is great.
The flavor was great until the salt just kicked in.
So what happened was Ryan's stepdaughter gave him a spoonful of something.
Yeah.
Jeez.
He's got to wash it down with a Busch Light.
That did not look good.
Mm-mm.
Well, it looked like a spoon, but the reaction.
Great job, ladies. You rocked it. So I'm gonna order some pizza or something.
Oh no.
All right, so we got Ryan, we got Bobby, we got Rob. Rob's here. He flew down for a business meeting turned fishing trip, and he brought the garbage weather with him. But we're going to go try to pound on some fish anyway, and it'll be a good time regardless. But back to Catfish Conference. Ryan's never been. He's still not going. Bobby likes Catfish Conference more than catfishing because he never actually goes fishing.
Poser.
Rob don't care. Although it's catfish and crappie conference, and you appreciate the crappie. You appreciate the flathead too.
I'm sure I could get along with people down there.
Oh yeah, that's the best part about it. So if anybody's interested in going to catfish conference, if you like catfishing, I highly recommend it because no matter what, when you run into somebody, you have something to talk about.
Yeah.
Like the end. There's not very many awkward silences there because at the end of the day, you can just go, "So you've been fishing?"
You can go to anybody in there and say that.
Right.
Except for Bobby, he never fishes.
Yeah.
Right.
Spencer doesn't want me to go fishing.
I don't?
He's afraid of the results that I'll produce.
No, I want you to go fishing because then when I outfish you, I can rub it in your face even more.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because right now you can be like, "Well, I don't even fish." I don't want that excuse.
I'm going Saturday.
Well, Bobby, when you look behind you, it's like you have an arsenal on the wall. How many of those rods have been used? One?
Every one of them. Every one of them. Actually,
did you even bring any of
some
those?
of the limited editions.
When you went fishing
They are
with
badass.
When you went fishing with Colby, did you even take any of your fishing rods, or you just use his stuff?
I took 2. One of them was the one I told you about that I put the 15-pound mono on, the bass fishing rod.
Oh yeah, that's right. Did you catch any on that?
No, I had one good pull down on it, and I was so excited that it was gonna take it, and then it didn't. I was kind of upset about it.
God, that's an awesome story, Bobby.
All right, I'll take it to the James and launch a big old shad head out there on it.
I recommend it so you can tell me another story about the one that got away. It'll be awesome.
One of these days, the one that got away is gonna get in the boat, and you gonna owe me that case of beer.
Okay.
Anyway,
back to Catfish Conference. Bobby, what are you looking forward to the most about going? Because you love it. Like, you can't even argue it. When you talk about it, you get all jacked up.
I just think it's. I mean, you mentioned it. We all have a common interest there. We're all strangers, or not all of us, but a lot of us are strangers, but we're not strangers. We could go up and talk to anybody, talk about fishing, talk about fishing products, talk about fish we've caught, show pictures of each other, and just all socialize in one environment where you know what to talk about.
You can all
And-
talk about how you wish you fished more.
Yeah, I just wish I caught fish. I wish I knew how to fish.
Yeah.
You know, I ask questions there with people trying to, in hopes that they'll teach me.
Bring
what
your
fishing
notebook
is.
along.
Yeah, exactly.
Tom says stranger danger. There's no stranger danger at Catfish Conference.
No.
Except for maybe Bobby. He might get kidnapped.
Yeah, if you see me up there, just walk the other direction.
Yeah. If he blinks 3 times, it means he's in trouble. Rob, you go to the Deer Classic probably. Do you go to any other ones?
I don't even go to that one
No.
like religiously, but yeah, it's similar concept though.
If you ever needed an excuse to have a beer at 10 in the morning, that'd be one.
Yeah.
I try to come get rid of those reasons to drink at 10 a.m.
And that's part of growing up.
It is. It is. Yeah.
I vowed to never do that.
My rule is noon. Try to not ever have a drink before noon.
Really?
Mine's 5.
And but there's a few exceptions. Tailgate.
I mean, you can't drink all day unless you start early.
That exactly.
The
Certain
earliest
vacation
scenarios.
scenarios. You know, I'll break that rule, but like in general, yeah, try not to.
I mean, they make clamatos just for breakfast beer.
Yeah.
Bloody Marys. White Russian is a
Sour
favorite
beer.
of mine as far as a breakfast cocktail.
Yeah.
The earliest beer I ever had, I went flathead fishing with my buddy Poland, and we fished till midnight, fell asleep in the boat, and he got moving at like 6:30. And I woke up to the like 6:30. So I'm like, okay.
That
It'd be
means he
rude.
didn't quit. He just paused.
Right.
It's the
Yeah, that's
It'd be
right.
rude of me if I made Poland drink by himself.
I mean, you got to
There's
be a
gotta
good host.
minimum of an 8-hour difference between beers to be considered the next day.
Where is that written down anywhere?
It's in
I
the
was just
unwritten
making
rules
shit up.
section.
You
of the
just
rules.
you can't just make up your own rules, Bobby.
I do what I want.
I just like the part of the story where it's like you don't even necessarily see it, you hear it.
Yeah. That was my alarm clock
Like,
that day.
seriously?
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing people I haven't seen for a while at Catfish Conference. I don't go every year, but I think I went the last 2 years, and then I missed 2, and then I went like 3 years before that. But either way, you see people there year after year, and lots of them I only get to see when I'm at that conference. So that's pretty darn fun.
And for you, it's great to be able to socialize with people. You know, there's a lot of benefits to talk to some of those guys, you know, down the road.
Yeah, but
You know, you can run ideas off of. You can, you know, everybody's kind of got common goals in the long term, not just having a conversation.
Sure. So there's the driving the fishing industry side of things, but like you could erase all of that and I would feel the exact same way because at the end of the day, everybody just absolutely loves fishing, especially catfishing. And now crappie fishing's thrown in the mix. And I mean, I just freaking love all that crap. Just hanging out.
I love crappie fishing. It gets bait and you go real fishing.
Yeah. Or and if nothing eats your bait, you just eat your bait.
Yeah.
No crappies get me through the winter, that's for sure.
That's my justification for using 15-inch crappies for bait. Because if a flathead don't eat them, I'm going to.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm going to tell you, I was skeptical about how much fun it would be. And I went out with Shane Waltzer.
And I'm jealous because I need to get out there fishing with him because he is a
Dude.
freaking crappie machine.
Dude, and when it was, he had, you know, he's got the live scope screens at the front, and it was like you're literally like he's like cast it right there, and you're just casting seemingly into just open water, and you're watching that bait go down, and you're seeing those fish come up, and he's like, wait for it, and you feel that thump, and it's, you know, 1.5 pound crappie on there pulling drag on that ultralight, and you're like, okay, I can get used to this. This
He
is
set
fun.
the hook for
Like,
you, didn't he, Bobby?
Oh man,
Yeah.
I missed the first like 7 fish. I missed like the first 7 just being jittery.
Oh, that's great. Ian, I appreciate the kind words, man. And it's meeting people like you there. Like it's selfless, but it's not because I enjoy it. So enjoying it makes it selfish, which you could argue there's no selfless acts.
Right.
I don't know.
We've had that conversation. I mean,
We're getting probably a little too deep. Let's go back to talking about bush planks.
if there's one thing we know, it's getting too deep.
All right, this Bobby, do you have any of the new Hellcats yet?
Not yet. I haven't been up there in a little bit.
Are you gonna steal them at Catfish Conference?
I will be returning with some.
Yeah. Have you seen one in person yet?
I have.
Like, have you gotten to hold one?
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
we
were there. We were there together.
The ice bowl.
Oh, they did, dude.
Yeah, they had a pink, a green, a yellow, and an orange at the ice bowl.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is the handles are freaking amazing.
Oh yeah.
Like the blank is cool. It's a live bait blank. It's got a solid backbone, forgiveness on the tip, and a gradual bend to the solid backbone. Like, that's great. Like, there's a million catfish rods similar in a lot of ways to that. But what is freaking sweet about them is the handles.
Oh my God. And you know, one of the biggest,
Dude, like, I'm jacked up about these handles. They're like they're like motorcycle handle.
Yeah.
They got.
Spencer is such a rod nerd. It's like if he had dog ears, they'd be.
They even look for the spine on the blank, man. They line up the guides with the spine. Can you believe that? Most people are like, I didn't know a fishing rod had a spine, you know? Well, they do.
Put a bend in them, you'll know.
No, it's really cool. And I mean, the big, you know, they won't get slippery. That was you mentioned that, and that was one of the things with the original Hellcats. Of, you know, if they got slimed on it, or
dude, anything with a rubberized grip is going to get slick when it's got blood, guts, slime, a little rain, maybe my blood on it. You know, like, who knows what ends up on those?
It's just a normal day.
Right, but these ones, they stay tacky even when they're wet. But the thing that I'm the most interested in, I think they'll do well, but I'm not sure, time will tell, is how durable they are in, like, sitting in a rod holder when a big blue smacks it in 4-mile-an-hour current on the Missouri River and he's ripping drag, and you got to get that fishing rod out of that holder. Will it tear them up over time?
Or will it just stick? You know, is it going to make it that much harder to get out?
I don't think it will, because, like, you don't want to slide the pole out of the holder. You want to pull back to get that separation. Yeah. But what you do when you do that is it tears up most foam grips and really tears up cork grips. And I think these things are going to last.
Yeah.
But time will tell.
Time will tell. I'm excited. And I mean, you said it. You said it. It's just something it's new. And I mean, I'm excited to try them out.
I mean, it almost sounds like females may purchase them for home use.
For like hitting people?
I don't even know what to say to that. I don't know how to take that.
Yeah, we might just drop that one. It's raining a lot, guys.
That's a whole new market. If you could double your profits, that'd be worth advertising.
So Rob got kicked off a plane.
Model, but
so
other news.
Rob got kicked off a plane today.
Rob, what? Tell us the story. What
right
happened?
under the bus.
Well, technically didn't get kicked off. Never got on the plane.
Oh.
The plane was there at the gate, about to leave, but hadn't left yet, and they would not let me on. And so I threw a little temper tantrum in the airport.
In your defense, no comment.
Might have threw my little luggage bag against the.
You did?
Yeah, I was furious.
My only disappointment in this whole story is I wasn't there to witness it.
I was so mad. Been up since 3 a.m.
No coffee.
No coffee. Hardly any food until just now. I finally got a decent meal, so I feel good now. We're getting a few sodas in my belly, and things are a lot better. So
heck yeah.
But yeah, run on fumes for sure.
We've all been there.
I'm fortunate. I haven't been Well, no, I camped for 4 days, so I went without sleep for like 4 days. I was thinking about how the last 2 nights I've got good night's sleep, and it felt really good. But
I don't know what sleep is.
oh, it's past your bedtime, isn't it?
It's anytime after 5 o'clock is past my bedtime.
Did you get parental permission to do this podcast?
No, they don't know.
Okay.
You gotta keep it down.
Okay.
You're gonna wake them up.
What time are you waking up tomorrow?
Whenever my body wakes me up. I set my alarm for 3:30, but normally it's around 3.
Gosh. But your job, man, like you getting up at that time is super beneficial. Do you think you would have to work longer if you woke up later?
I don't think it would be. It would make everybody else's life harder on top of, me having to work later. Yes, but I don't think like the actual duration of working hours, like I wouldn't have to work more hours than I do now. It would just be, I would finish later and everybody that relies on me getting my stuff done early would finish later as well.
Do you ever feel
sometimes there's a big F you, I'm gonna sleep in.
I have had that before.
What do you do for work?
I'm a specialized analyst. Well, I guess more of a systems analyst.
Did you say analyst?
Yeah.
Oh.
Analyst.
Specialized
Systems analyst for
A natural gas company. So
okay.
essentially any natural gas, like the actual fittings, the pipe, everything that's, dug and put in the ground gets mapped, like each GPS coordinates for every foot of pipe and every fitting. And I check those services for that company for the previous day for North Carolina and Tennessee.
Gotcha.
So a natural gas analyst.
You're sounding like Ryan over here.
Yeah, I've had a couple of times to pounce, and I thought we were keeping it clean, but I guess not.
No, absolutely
Look.
not.
Yeah,
The more
well,
he
you're
sips
talking
that
about a
bush
list of
latte, the
various
less
things that
filter
end up
there's
on
gonna
the
be.
fishing rod handle, and you left one out.
Yeah.
It went downhill from there.
Hey, that's what I bring to the table
Like,
every
Nobody
time.
knows each other, but we all have something in common. I'm like, God, it sounds like a freaking gay bar, man.
Yeah, but the only one that walks in and they know your name's Rob. He's the new norm.
Now, have you ever watched? I mean, we've all watched a fishing show, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever looked away from the fishing show and just listened to it while they're landing a fish and been just weirded out? So they're like, "Oh yeah, baby, get over here," just slide right into my net.
You might be on the wrong channel, Spencer.
Yeah.
I've never been weirded out by it, but
Oh well, and then the heavy breathing into the microphone too.
Oh, Bill Dance always did that.
Oh yeah,
he
huffing
kissed
and
kitten and
puffing.
kiss him.
Yeah.
oh my!
Bill was just lucky to
Goodness.
be above water half the time.
Oh
Yeah, I
my
suppose.
God!
Old Bill. I actually saw him in person once. I'm sure he's a super nice guy, but I never got the chance to talk to him because it was at ICAST and he walked around a booth. And as soon as he walked around the booth, a bunch of people saw him and started walking towards him, and he just ran back around.
He's like the groundhog. Two
Yeah.
more
Fence
weeks.
is
we
coming.
see
I gotta
Bill
get out
Dance.
of here.
He's probably one of the most iconic,
Oh, yeah.
noticeable guys in the fishing industry.
He gets mugged, man. Anytime.
Oh, man.
I mean, and he's got the trademark Tennessee hat. So even if you don't if you're not positive that it's him, but you see that Tennessee hat, that's like the giveaway.
Yeah, that's like a 50-50 shot if you see somebody at any fishing event with the Tennessee hat. There's a good chance.
Yeah.
Speaking of marquee hats, oh, your sunglasses are on it. I thought you had a different hat on.
Oh,
You just got your sunglasses on it.
I'm gonna
I
tell
was
you,
like, who stole your hat?
Spencer gets the worst sunglasses tan I've ever seen.
the best sunglasses tan.
And it won't be a tan. It will be a burn and then like goggles around his eyes.
I'm channeling my inner raccoon. I have a very poor diet. I stay up at night and I get cranky when I'm hungry. just a part raccoon.
It always
there are
smells
some,
like shad.
I mean, if I catch you digging in the trash, then we'll know.
right. There are some gold comments right now.
Oh, I gotta see. Let me take a gander here.
Yeah, there's
Richard
water laying out.
Yo.
Oh, Joel's
Just-
asking about Brad or Boomhauer. I mean, he's not awkward at all. He's like the nicest guy in the world, to tell you the truth. And Rob and I, we're going fishing with him tomorrow. I'm pretty jacked up. I'm gonna get back to the tiller life a little bit. Maybe I'll have to ask him to let me drive it around just for, walk down memory lane.
Yeah. You say it like it was 42 years ago.
Well,
No,
in Spencer's life, it was.
dude. I feel like I've lived a full life the last 4 or 5 years.
Every time I text him, I'm like, "What state are you in today?"
Yeah. I was in Florida last week. I'm in Alabama this week. Next week I'll be in Tennessee Kentucky.
I was gonna say, wait, what?
Well, it's close to Tennessee.
Yeah. So Spencer, you got an opportunity to finally fish at the James. How was that?
It was fun. Side note, though, I'll come back to the James. Ian says we need to see more of my brother fishing. I agree, but but exciting in the meantime, he's meeting me at Catfish Conference.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, so he wants to do
Bonnie Z.
He wants to do a bourbon tour too. So I'm going to make him walk around the conference for a while and then going to do
and
a
you'll
bourbon
stagger
tour.
around the bourbon conference.
Yes, it'll be a good time. Oh, that reminds me. So if anybody is going to be at Catfish Conference and wants to say hi, I'm going to be at the Catch the Fever booth for the majority of the time that I'm there. And then, oh, shoot. Somebody say something. I can't remember the name of the other one. They're a new canoe dealer that I'm going to be at. Oh, Direction Unknown booth. And I'll have my new canoe kayak rigged out there. So if anybody wants to walk by, see it, I'm there, shoot the breeze about the rigging. Some of it you can buy, some of it's customized, but I can show you what I did and how I did it.
The stuff that looks customized, that's the stuff he made.
Well, if you squint your eyes and look at it from a long ways away, it looks pretty professional. But don't get too close.
Because it took him 45 minutes to do a 4-hour job.
Yeah. Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Well, I mean, that's my life. That's most of my jobs. But I mean, I'm the guy who comes up with the ideas but executes poorly. That's what I'm good at.
Send it to the patent office. They're like, no.
No.
But those are the places I'll be. I know Micah's given a presentation, so I'll have to go to that one and possibly heckle him a little bit. And
I'm game for that.
Yeah, so I recommend everybody goes to Micah's presentation and give him a hard time.
I'm gonna raise my hand and go, I'm gonna go, how does it feel that Spencer's a better fisherman than you?
Well, that's easy for him to debunk that one.
Yeah.
Although I did pour it on him when we were down in Florida. Actually, Ryan, I have converted one mono guy to a braid guy. After
he doesn't have enough willpower.
Right.
No.
I mean, that's like turning a straight guy gay. Good for you. But he was gay the whole time.
Wow, this just got hairy in a hurry.
Trick's on you. He was gay the whole time.
Moving on.
Back to the James. James.
I fished the James River. It was awesome. It was everything I thought it'd be. Fished with an awesome captain, Captain Christian Moore. And that dude knows his fish and loves talking about them, which if you like catfish, that's the perfect combinations. Odds are, if you're booking a trip with, I'm just so lost after that comment, man.
We need a 5-minute timeout.
I'm just like digging and have nowhere to go.
So you went fishing with him. What'd you learn from him? Every time you go out, you try to learn one thing. What'd you take away?
A tidal fishery is so much different than a regular fishery because they set up different too. Like there's holes in the river, just like any other river, but because the current flip-flops, like it'll be going this way in the afternoon and the other way in the morning or evening or whatever, they get scoured out in multiple different directions.
This is where you're catching fresh and salt kind of in the same.
Yeah. Well, there's other tidal fisheries, but the other ones don't. The current doesn't flip-flop. It'll speed up and slow down, but this one, it completely flips. It's weird.
So is there a period of time where it's kind of stagnant?
Yeah, slack tide.
Yeah, there's a slack tide there.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of learning. I mean, one stretch of river, you got to learn it 3 different ways.
The overarching theme that I picked up is the fish never quit moving because they're always readjusting for current. And that if you move, like you don't have to move a bunch. Like, in fact, it's bad. Like it'd be a bad idea to, like, you know, on small streams, you spot hop, like there's going to be fish here. If he's going to eat, he eats now. And if he doesn't eat now, he's not going to eat at all. Where there you have fish moving around, where if you set up on a spot, just because there's not a hungry fish there, the minute your bait hits the bottom,
within 15 minutes, you got a good shot.
Or maybe a half hour, 45 minutes. But if you move, like the fish are moving around so much, it doesn't make sense for you to move around a whole bunch either.
Yeah.
So that's the big thing that I've noticed. And that plays out to some degree on big water, because big water has way more fish on top of that, like per volume per se, but than small water, but it seems more exaggerated there.
So you're nighttime fishing during the day.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Maybe not as extreme as us sitting on a campfire and around a campfire drinking beers and never wanting to move at all, but pretty close.
You lost the ability 3 hours ago?
Right. But yeah, there's definitely some layers of that to it. The best example I saw was we fished a shipwreck, and when we drove over the top of it, there was easily 20 to 40 catfish over 40 pounds there, and a lot of other ones too. And
I could see why you didn't move.
Yeah, we sat on it for like 45 minutes to an hour, and we caught 2 or 3 teeners. But when we left, they were all gone. We drove back over the top of it, and that was as the tide was lessening. So they just changed they just moved. They were there, piled up.
So you're an hour late.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
We were probably an hour late.
Yeah. The James is a wild place because the current rips at times, especially like after a flood, but it'll go from like, if you throw a side rod out fishing anywhere near the main channel, and you could throw a 16 out there and it'll get pulled back. And then all of a sudden it goes to slack tide, and you could free line anywhere you could throw a free line out to the side of the boat and it wouldn't move.
Sure.
And
that's what I was wanting to get at, was their transition to even a certain structure, because I'm guessing they kind of surround the same structure. They probably don't move long distances, but just how they set up on that structure, you know, high tide, low tide, and slack.
I just think they just move all the time. I don't even think they relate to structure that much.
No.
Because there's so much of it, or the current's just that strong.
I think it's just things are in flux so much that the idea of parking behind a current break for any reason just doesn't even register with them. I think they're just endless roamers.
You're overthinking it, Ryan.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Well, and
That's what keeps me in this spot.
A lot of people, like if you ask like somebody who fishes up there a lot for advice, like, hey, it's my first time going out there on my own, what should I do? Almost everybody would just say scan the channel edges and just find where there's some fish on a channel ledge. Like not a specific channel edge, just there's somewhere on these ledges, just go find them.
That was literally what I was going to get at next, is I think the contours play a bigger part of the game than structure.
I'm noticing, talking about tide, and we all know what affects tidal changes and
moon.
Yeah, Derek Wilson just said
moon. go
Yeah,
crazy.
Derek.
I just
I
saw that. I was
fished
like,
with,
yeah,
I fished with
yeah,
Derek a lot at the James.
absolutely would.
Yeah. Derek, Will, you mentioned Derek in the comments. I fished a lot with him up there, and he's taught me.
I feel bad for Derek.
Yeah.
Derek, you need better friends, buddy.
Sorry,
Come
buddy.
on. Hey, he'll say the best. He'll say the worst thing about me is I'll eat all his beanie weenies, but
What's a beanie weenie?
the little canned baked beans with
Pork and
little
beans.
pieces of the like Vienna sausage in it.
You've never had beanie weenies?
I've never had beanie weenie.
God, you're like 12
You're
years
not
old.
a fisherman, Spencer.
You're like 12
You
years
call
old.
yourself a cat.
I'm not a cat fisherman.
You're not a cat fisherman. You have
Hey,
not been initiated.
I like pork rinds. Doesn't that count for something?
It's not white trash enough.
That's more. That's the more southern part of you coming out.
Pork rinds are like Missouri. Like you got to get deeper south.
That's
Than that.
Missouri.
I'll admit, I don't like boiled peanuts.
It's like an AA meeting.
Yeah.
My name is Spencer.
Hi, my name's
I
I don't
Spencer,
like boiled
and I don't
peanuts.
like boiled peanuts.
I'll try them someday again, but I tried them and I am not a fan.
But
Maybe
that
that's
was
why you
that
don't
was
catch big
one
fish.
gas station, right?
It was.
But you tried multiple varieties, but maybe their water wasn't clean. You
No,
know
I
that.
didn't even try multiple varieties. I tried 2 of the same kind. I'm like, these are trash, and I'm never having them again.
But didn't they have like a bunch of kinds that you could try?
Every gas station has this ridiculous supply of boiled peanuts, and I don't know, man. Like, I'll probably try them again, but
There's very few foods that I trust from the gas station.
I've seen your figure, buddy. I don't believe that.
Oh my
That's 75% of my diet.
I was about to say, Bobby's never been to Iowa. Iowa has like the best gas station cuisine in the planet.
That's true, man. That's one thing I can tell I get back to Yankee country because you get into some really nice gas stations.
Well, the nicest one I've ever been to is Buc-ee's.
Oh yeah, Buc-ee's is
Buc-ee's,
immaculate.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't even count that as a gas
That's
station.
like Walmart with gas.
Yeah.
That's not really even a gas station.
You
The
can get a
worst
pair of
thing that I've ever-
Costas. You get a Yeti cooler there.
Yeah,
Unlimited beef jerky.
You've got shopping carts.
Yes. Ian says
Shopping
Casey's
cart.
Pizza.
Pizza, yep.
I'm gonna buck the trend. I'm not a huge Casey's Pizza fan.
Hy-Vee Fast and Fresh has come on.
Yes. You can get sushi there.
I don't know about the
Yeah.
sushi.
Yeah,
You're a gas station sushi
I
guy.
mean, if
I'll
you're
do
looking for Central
I know
Iowa
about the
sushi,
breakfast there.
that's
What do they have
pretty.
for breakfast?
I mean, everything, like you name it, like,
You get bacon, eggs, hash browns?
yeah,
I feel enlightened.
like on the spot too.
Well, they'll make it there? Like
If
made
you
to
ask
order?
them to, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Do they
Right.
deliver it to the riverbank?
Hy-Vee Fast and Fresh.
I'll be right back, fellas.
The worst gas station food I've ever had. It wasn't the taste that was bad. It was the after effects. But I had one of those gas station burritos at like 6 a.m. one morning on the way to go fishing. And I'm going to tell you, I've never had another gas station burrito since.
I know how this story ends, Bobby.
Yes.
Yeah.
You all know how that ends. It's not pretty.
No, it wasn't. But I didn't expect it to be as negatively affecting to me as it was.
You got to tell if they're like fresh or like the Hy-Vee Fast and Fresh. They make a breakfast burrito, but it's legit. Like, it's
Oh, this
legit.
wasn't a
Yeah,
breakfast.
It's not
this,
it wasn't something that came out of a freezer and they threw it in a microwave.
this wasn't a breakfast burrito.
Yeah.
It was a breakfast.
No, this was
intestinal.
like the burrito.
Mm.
That might have been my first mistake, but they've got a gas station on Bugs that's 24 hours and it's on the lake. So if you're like night fishing out there, you can just pull up to the dock and go get food 24/7, keep fishing. That's pretty cool.
Bobby, you got any bank fishing tips?
Well, as Spencer can attest, bank fishing around where I'm at the success will vary based on where you're at and what you're targeting.
If you were dialed, I think you could pound on some cats from the bank.
Yeah.
You just have to go.
Yeah. I mean, I've got some friends that bank fish down at like High Rock, you know, the dams down there. And my buddy just changed his profile picture from fish he caught this weekend. He doubled up on 45 and a 50 from the bank.
There you go. So you got any tips how other people can do that?
I mean, just like any kind of fishing, just find out what works, you know, try different spots, move around, and
look at Facebook.
I never thought of that. Yeah.
Look for spots where other people are catching fish.
Exactly. Hey,
As close
there's the hole. There's the hole. Let's go. Let's go.
You see somebody reel one in, you go sit next to them.
Man, I'm telling you.
Ryan, you got any bank fishing tips?
Other than putting time in and having a good time, but no, I mean, springtime, I do a lot of bank fishing just because, you know, a lot of the shad kill-offs are pushing the channel cats up close.
Oh, and it is wonderful.
Oh, it's such a good time.
Yeah.
And you're finally outside because you can finally feel your toes and fingers. It's awesome. But then you move into flathead. You know, I grew up flathead bank fishing. I didn't have a boat for a long time. You know, you go upstream from log jams where they're up feeding and, you know, look for your current breaks, look for your seams. And most important, you just bring beer and start a fire.
The most important thing.
So
bring beer, start fire, you're covered.
Best bank fishing tip. Bring a fire starter and a cooler. Now, my bank fishing tip is less is more. Like, bring as little as possible to get done what you want to get, and then that frees up your hands to carry your cooler if you're Ryan. But
hey,
but for real,
I'll go fishing without a lot of things. Beer is seldom one of those.
Ian's asking if you move as much on the bank as you do in a boat. When I'm channel cat fishing, small streams, I probably move more from the bank than I do a boat. And I'll match like my foot, like what I'm wearing on my feet to what I'm going to do. Like I'm probably going to be wading a lot or wear knee-high rubber boots for walking through the mud and stuff if the water's colder. But mobility is important on the bank as it is from a boat, especially with catfish and on smaller waters too. The one nice thing about the shad kill deal is if you learn a few of the tricks, you don't have to move.
No, they'll be there.
Yeah, you can set up shop, but I'd say the number one thing for that is just pay attention to not just the weather of the day, but what the weather has been doing. So if you have 2 or 3 days in a row where you get a strong southern breeze blowing to the upper end of those reservoirs, because rivers tend to run north to south, on those mud flats, that strong wind pushes the winter kill up there. Or if there's a lot of current, the current also pulls catfish up there. And then you just find a wind-blown spot on a shallow mud flat.
And 95% of the fish in that reservoir will be there.
Oh, God.
You just took my piece of advice is pay attention to wind direction.
Yeah.
And then how does that affect what you're doing?
Yep.
Because you don't have any way to combat it from the shore. You're stuck with, you're on an east shoreline and it's a west wind. It's going to be in your face or vice versa.
Mm-hmm. That's what you want. You want a wind in your face, and whether it's catfish or walleyes too, you know.
Depends what you're talking about on a river. I don't.
Well, I'm talking.
I
about
could
a
give
lake.
two shits.
I'm talking about a lake.
Well, I get a lake,
Yeah.
but well, we're talking bank fishing. You didn't specify lake.
I just specified.
Oh,
There wasn't a.
you just did
the assignment doesn't have a deadline, Rob. I just specified.
you added stipulations there after the fact. I would say, let's just say in general, it doesn't matter what you're fishing for and what body of water you're fishing for, or body of water you're fishing. Wind is something you should put in.
Wind plays a part on small streams when they're very low and the water is clear, though. Like if I'm walleye fishing the river and there's a 20-mile-an-hour breeze kicking up chop, it seems like that, at least in the fall, when that twilight period plays a big difference. Those are the time frames where I get that better bite before it starts to get dark.
Direction is a big piece for me.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Kicks-
what I'm saying,
kicks it up
yeah,
better.
yeah.
I
Well,
feel,
it can be up or it
Ryan,
can
I
be
feel like they're arguing, but they're saying the same thing.
yeah, somewhat. Yeah,
But they're holding hands at the same time, so they'll be fine.
a lot of mine
They'll be
is
fine.
a lot of my factor though is like my effectiveness of being able to fish. Like right now, up in Iowa, I can guarantee you right now, like the rivers are so shallow, you have to fish so light. If there's a south wind,
And the ice is so thick, you got to use a 1 ounce
with the
jig.
fish
pop
hair,
through
but
it.
it's like I can't fish that way. It's like it's going to be hard. It's going to be a challenge.
That's fair.
The casting ability is sacrificed.
Mhm.
You're going to have a bow in your line. You miss bites, which is frustrating because you feel them and you don't get the good hook set because you got a bow in your line.
That's true. That's true.
That type of stuff. That'd be.
And that's why we have these conversations.
Yes, but I'm thinking from a walleye perspective because that's what I do. You guys are catfish guys.
I walleye fish too, Rob. Okay.
I just go catfish. I go
You're gonna hurt
catfish.
his feelings. All right, quick. I want to jump on two comments. One is, would you rather spend money on a good rod or a good reel? For me, it's definitely the reel.
Yes.
A lot of the rods do the same thing, no matter the price point. But a good reel is definitely tough to beat.
Well, the rod, like $50 rod or $150 rod, and everyone in between, at least from a catfishing point of view, they're all very
walleye's different. But
yes. But a catfishing point of view, they're all durable and are going to last and perform well enough to put plenty of fish in the boat. Are there subtle differences of your higher end rods? Probably.
Yeah.
And
it
durability.
depends if you got mono or braid on, as far as action and what you want.
But the point being is like all those rods are going to last, whereas the reels, the lower end reels, typically don't have the longevity and durability of the high end reels. Plus, they're not as nearly nice to fish with.
And you need a lot of cranking power with what you guys are doing.
Yeah, but you can get that from a cheap reel too. Like you get
to an extent, but it's still you can feel like a cheaper reel just feels chintzier versus like
you buy a Penn Warfare for $50 and it's got a 5:3:1 gear ratio with a big power handle, and it's going to do really well for like how long?
3 months. It lasted me 3 months. I bought 6 of them.
Right.
I was down to 2 in 3 months.
Which is really disappointing because traditionally all the pins, even the lower price models, did awesome.
I would give everything away and just fish with 310s.
I tell you what, man.
If like 310s, I would give everything else away.
But then you go up just a little bit in a price point to a Penn Squall, freaking super durable, awesome reels, really good bang for your buck.
What do they put out for drag? The Squalls, isn't it like 25 or something?
No, you're thinking the Fathoms.
I was thinking Fathoms.
The Fathoms put out 30. I think the Penn Squalls put out 15 or 20, which is still quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely all you'd need for catfishing.
Yeah.
I
grew up a pin guy. I love pins.
Oh yeah.
I saw Shane Walser in the comments there. Shout out to my man Shane. Shane wants to know what my favorite bank fishing bait is.
What just happened?
I don't know, but something fell.
Just random kid shit. It's all right.
Okay.
Yeah. There's no ambulance coming. It's just normal line shit.
All right. Anyway, bank bait.
So for channel cats, my favorite bank bait is dog food. We talked about this on a podcast, and so my favorite bait for channel cat fritz is dog food.
Uncle Roy or
Purina.
It's Old Roy.
Purina hands down.
Purina.
Have you tried several?
It's Old Roy.
Have you tried several dog foods?
I have. I mean, I've gone to, in a pinch, I've had to go to Food Lion or something, run out and grab a bag of whatever they had. But Purina, it's the right texture, the right size. It works perfectly.
What about cat food?
How about Blue Buffalo? If you go higher end,
crunchy to go on a hook, like you have to wet it.
Well,
no,
I'm curious. Like cat food is more greasy and more potent.
That's true.
So, have you tried cat food?
I haven't, but they're also a little bit smaller. So for what I do, I need them to be durable enough to float with a hook in them.
How do you put it on the hook?
I kind of use almost like a stinger kind of setup.
Do you have to bring your drill and drill a hole in it?
No,
I was gonna say
I'll put the top, I'll have a top hook and then a little piece of line in the bottom hook, and I'll hook like completely cover the first hook, little baby like number 10 tail hook on the top, and that keeps it afloat, and then the stinger hook at the bottom is what sticks the fish.
Tell you what, TA
So they don't break
said,
apart when you throw the hook in it.
No, I mean, eventually it'll soften up after, 20, 25 minutes or so. And then you got to put a new
just
piece
said cattle cubes. Have you ever tried range cubes, cattle
Yes.
cubes?
I haven't.
You need to. I've heard so many good things about
I've
them.
never
for a
heard of
lot things.
Well, Joaquin's 9 Lives, Bobby's official sponsor. You need to start hitting up these pet food companies and saying, you know what, I found another niche for your product.
Well, I'm a big trapper, and I've used all kinds of cat food to try to trap raccoon. And Kit and Caboodle, for whatever their recipe is hands down the best raccoon bait as far as dry cat food.
You'll have
I mean,
Spencer in there, Mr. Raccoon over there. He'll be up in that cat food too.
But I'm talking 10-1
Tumbler there.
versus other cat food. It's amazing.
You just need a little beef jerky for me, bud. That'll get me. I'll turn my nose up at the old Kit and Caboodle, but you throw a little sweet and spicy jerky down, and you got me.
You throw a couple cups of coffee down there in the morning, and Spencer will be all over it.
Yeah, but if I don't have a drink first, I'll like tear apart the trap, so it ain't even gonna catch. You're so mad.
Look, we were on the way to go fishing. It's a big fishing. I kept passing gas stations. It's like, there is a gas station on the way, right? Because I haven't had my coffee.
I was grumpy.
He was not happy.
Anyway,
my.
reels.
Theo said, if you want a triple digit, come fish with me. Theo, what do you got going?
I might need to do that.
Triple digits, apparently.
There's only one way to prove that.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. I need to win a case of beer from Bobby.
It's not happening.
It might
Look,
happen
I'm gonna go
tomorrow,
above and
Bobby.
beyond.
Yeah.
I'm going to go above and beyond. Forget a 60-pound flathead or a 100-pound blue. I'm going 100-pound flathead.
I will buy you.
I will buy you a keg.
Yeah.
Bobby. I will deliver you a keg from my house if you catch a 100-pound flathead. That's how we're going to meet. You catch a 100-pounder, I'm bringing you a keg of beer. We're going to drink it till it's gone.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
You'll actually have two to go through because I'll bring one too.
That's what I'm talking about.
Anyway,
I'll
back
buy
to
a Monster
reels.
Cat.
Back to reels, just because I like talking about reels. So your mid-range and upper range pins, because the fathoms are badass too. So Squalls, fathoms, top-notch reels. I played around with the Daiwa Alexa 400s line counters. Those are badass reels.
They are badass. Yeah.
If you want a good bang for your buck, like quality price-wise, PC Fun is where it's at. Like they don't have the super high-end option like the Fathoms, the Lexas, but their higher end ones are very comparable in a lot of ways, and they're like half the freaking price.
And you're going on what, 2 years?
Yeah, 2 years.
1,000 fish, probably.
Yeah, and
Ish.
my reels have reeled in 4 over 80 now, and they've been through guide duty.
Yeah, and you say 4 over 80, but that's a dozen over 70.
Yeah, we got a
40 over 60.
We got a 71 on Monday on that 2-year-old PC Fun Alios, and it's still kicking
They're
ass.
badass.
Dude, I love
if you like braid.
Yeah, they wouldn't be a great mono reel. They really wouldn't be because you could. I'd say the biggest mono you'd want to put on them would be like 30 or 40. 40 would be stretching it, but
yeah,
I'd be okay with 30. The downfall is you wouldn't be able to use all the drag that they put out. They put out like 30 pounds of drag. I think they advertise like 45 pounds, but I mean, they're not going to function well with that drag crank down that far. But
I casted 12 feet.
Yeah. Well, the thing that makes them awesome truly is that regardless of the price point of all the components, they have a one-piece aluminum frame. And because the spool size is narrow and it's an aluminum one-piece frame, there's very little flex under heavy pressure. So that means like the internals aren't ever bended at weird directions. They stay rigid and in place, and they'll last for a long time. The problem with some reels with either screw-in pegs on the sides or graphite frames is when they're under heavy pressure for long periods of time, they flex, bend, twist, whatever, and that causes the internals to be under awkward shearing forces and things. So you have like teeth on your gears chip off over time. So that's one thing you could look for in any reel is that one-piece aluminum frame just adds that long-term durability on those reels. So regardless of what you go for, that'd be the number one thing I'd look for in any big fish application.
Yeah,
I like it.
That's huge.
Science.
Sure.
Sam's like, do they make pen and left-handed? Yes, they make like I think
I'm not sure why you'd want one, but
you mean wrong-handed? I tell you what,
Wrong.
I'm jealous of anyone who's left-handed. I wanted to be left-handed so I could play first base and hit home runs. That's all I want to do is play first base and hit home
that's
runs.
it.
You're more likely to be ambidextrous if you're left-handed.
That's true, and that'd be badass too. Like I can't do anything with my left
No,
hand.
I'm a gimp with my left.
It's
hand.
terrible.
I can drink beer with my left hand. I can't do that.
That's my preferred hand.
I tell you what, bullhead.
Bullhead.
Bullhead means you drink. Cheers. Yep, Sam, I'm jealous if you're left-handed. Jared says been using 7000s from the 70s and 80s, bought from eBay. They are great reels, but the handle screws like to walk out from a lot of boat rides. I haven't seen that. My only complaint, so if you fish small streams with lighter weights, Abus are awesome. Where they leave a little bit to be desired is if you're slinging 12, 16 ounces, fishing big water, blue cat type applications. They just don't seem to last as long. But even giant flatheads in small streams, as long as you're not throwing huge weights with them, they're awesome reels.
My biggest issue with any Abu is the clicker noise. I
They're-
like a loud clicker.
They're decent. Well, the only thing louder is a pin.
Yeah. Well,
And-
those cold waters are. I mean, those
Yeah,
cold
you're
waters
right.
are pretty comparable to.
Okuma,
You're right.
Yeah.
Yep. You're right on that one.
Yeah.
Because I spent a lot of nights sleeping on the river, and I need something that wakes me up. And I
See,
slept through Abus.
Yeah.
you just need a second version of you because you're my clicker, my backup clicker.
Don't drink as many beers.
Spencer, wake up!
Wake up.
If it wasn't for you, I would not have caught my biggest flathead ever because it was like 3 a.m. and you're like, hey, Spencer, you got a bite. You going to get that? And I'm like, just like, ah.
And if it wasn't for you sleeping so heavy, I wouldn't have caught an 87-pound blue.
That's true. So you're why I caught my biggest flathead, and then me sleeping is why
Spencer
you caught
didn't
your
even
biggest
wake me
blue.
up. He tried to wake me up.
I did. So me and him.
That was another one of those long days, and I think I drank a little brown liquor.
Yeah, that'll
I
do it.
remember. and
Yeah.
Probably a few other party favors.
So him and I crashed on the boat last fall or the fall before. I
It
think
was last fall.
last fall, and he slept through me reeling in like a 45-pounder. He was sleeping on one side of the boat, I was sleeping on the other, and I hear the clicker roll, and I get up and fight this fish, land this fish, talking to a camera, lights on everywhere. I was yelling at Rob like, get up, and never got up.
The best thing about Rob is anytime he gets on a boat, a big fish gets landed. He may leave the boat. Because like when me and you and him went out, and I dropped you guys off at the ramp, and I went out and caught your pet 44-pounder.
I only caught him once. He's not my pet.
But it was 4 days before I caught it. So
It's honestly kind of sweet that you caught him and I caught him.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah. Never told you that story, Bobby?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So him and so Rob is really good luck with flatheads. Like you, for whatever reason.
Either that or I think it's his deer sausage.
Yes, we've already figured
you're
out
right.
the secret weapon.
Yeah, you suck, Rob, but your deer sausage is great.
It's the deer sausage.
But that was the only trip you've ever been on that we went on where we didn't reel in a flathead together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you guys did later that night after I left.
Well, we both left, and Ryan went
Ryan
back
did,
out and caught a slob, like a 44, 45.
Yeah, 44. Yeah.
Something like that. And then you took a picture of it, and then I caught it a few days later, and I didn't even think about it. And it was right in that area. And you're like, I think that's the same fish. And I look at it at first, I'm like,
it had a dark circle, like right at the gill plate.
Yeah. Like if you go to my Facebook page right now and scroll up, that's the fish. And it's got that dark spot kind of right behind the right gill plate.
Yeah.
And
4 days apart.
Yeah. Once we started looking at them, we're like, holy shit, that is the same fish. Like 50 yards from where you caught it was where it went up to feed at night, and I caught it where it was sleeping during the day.
You got it in the daytime hole, and I caught her when she was coming to eat.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that's cool. Derek caught me off guard. It's funny that he mentioned that. He said, now that you have plenty of time on the Protege, would you have bought anything different looking back? So I'm going to tell you 2 stories with that. First,
I'm going to drink a beer.
The first part of the story is it is easily the most versatile boat I've ever been in. Like, it handles waves really, really well. You can putt around in shallow water, especially with a jack plate, really, really well. It's got plenty of room for 2, 3, 4 people. It's got the live well. You can put an enclosure on it. It's like, it legitimately is the real deal, man. Like, honestly, I'm selling it in a month and a half. So if anybody wants to buy it, like, let me know. And the only reason I'm buying it, though, is because it can't go through 2 inches of water. The only thing that'll go through 2 inches of water is a jet. That's
Ian's comment until you beach it with Ryan.
Yeah.
I am not pulling that sucker off of sand.
It ain't no heavier than the one you pulled off the sand last time.
Oh, it's gotta be, doesn't it?
No. It weighs like 200 pounds more is all.
That sucked.
Yeah, it did suck. I tell that story often. And
you haven't beached yours yet, Ryan?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes, we have.
Oh, well, we
I
didn't.
know, except that one time.
Yeah, I beached
we
it.
didn't beach it. There just wasn't enough water for it to float.
That's true. It wasn't dry docked, but we were going, and then suddenly we weren't going. And I thought you were going to fly off the front of the boat.
In my mind, that counts.
Yeah, like, I don't know if you parked it on the sand, but I parked it on the sand with you.
Yeah, you're the only one to ever get my boat stuck.
With you.
Bullhead.
Bullhead.
Hey, Spencer.
Yeah.
What can you say about my driving?
Dude, you scare the shit out of me.
Dang! No sugarcoating?
Has
there ever been any sugarcoating, Bobby?
Yeah. Since you've heard anything out of his mouth?
It wasn't that. It's not that bad.
No, it's not bad.
So what's your boat, Bobby?
Oh, we're not talking about a boat.
Oh, driving.
That would be even more terrifying.
I just tried not to look at the road and just pretended I was on a roller coaster.
Spencer said Bobby owns both lanes.
Yes.
It's a 2-lane road.
Yeah, that was the first thing I noticed when you picked me up at the airport. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, why are you driving in both lanes?
I like to pass people when I probably shouldn't.
Yeah, 4 inches away from them.
Just in case they want to give you a high five on the way by.
Yeah.
Back to the boats, just because that's more fun right now. Is I'm going back to a jet. I'm getting a Sea Arc Flat Cat, but I will have to my knowledge, I'll have the only 1872 version of it. And I'm going with an 18-footer because Well, the main thing is just getting the thing in the water. Like getting a 20-foot boat in the water is tough. An 18-foot boat is still more difficult than a 16-footer, but it's a heck of a lot easier than a 20. And lots of times when the water gets low, which is still a time I want to be on the water, that 18 will get in there better. So
what was the last one? Was that 20?
The last one was a 20.
Yeah, last jet.
And it'll still be 72 inches wide, so it'll get on plane, like it'll draft very shallow, but it'll be a little shorter, hop on plane a little quicker, be easier to get in the water, be easier to turn around, and it'll be freaking sweet.
It's an 18-foot surfboard. Pretty much.
18-foot surfboard. It's still going to have a 140-105 Suzuki on the back. So
shit.
That thing's gonna move.
it won't be crazy fast. It'll probably go like low to mid 30s. But my main thing is it's going to hop on plane right now. Like you have some weight in the boat, you take camp and stuff, or a bunch of people or whatever. You hit that throttle, and it's going to be like right on top of the water, which is the most important thing.
Yes, especially in Iowa.
Yeah,
There's no water.
right.
We're in this thing called a drought.
Yeah, and with
I think it's just permanent. I'm not sure it's a
It
drought
feels like
anymore.
it, doesn't it?
no kid.
I'm getting so used to just that being the norm now.
Yeah.
And what's weird is because before it all hit, the norm was always high. Like we're never gonna not have high water.
Yeah.
Until we didn't.
And now we had high water 2 weeks in the last 4 years.
It's kind of wild.
It was awesome when it happened.
It
though.
was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, June and July were great.
That was the only time I put that Protege on the river last year was when it was running like 20,000, and I was still scared driving it around.
Yeah.
That
What's
low
causing
unit.
that?
What?
What's causing it? to
Global
not-
warming. Haven't you watched the news?
It's climate change.
Yeah,
Climate.
that's more politically correct.
Yes.
I don't know. I will say it seems
It was
like
global warming until they realized that the planet overall wasn't warming. It was just changing. So
Yeah.
I will say when it
Turn
comes
on.
to like seasonal averages, it just seems like it's the middle of two extremes. And like we had that really, really cold weather event in January, followed by that really, really nice weather event. And now we're kind of in the middle.
yeah.
And then when
I
you look
feel-
at the end of it, it averages out.
I feel like
Yeah.
with the 4 seasons in Iowa that they've shifted like forward a little bit. Like,
Oh yeah, like
Like
fall
fall
lasts longer.
yep, fall goes into winter more, winter goes into spring more.
That's true.
Yeah, all
That's
that,
true.
and vice versa.
Yeah.
Summer lasts forever. Like summer won't screw off like I wish it would earlier.
Yeah, summer didn't end last year.
God, I hate summer.
Yeah, it was great. I was catching flathead in October. It was awesome.
The bugs and sweat. And
I love it. I hate cold. I'll shiver.
Yeah.
I hate shivering.
I don't necessarily want
love
cold, but I
sweating.
like cooler. Like I like
You know, like sunny and
I like-
75, no mosquitoes.
no. I like,
Give me
I
the
like
dead dog
40,
heat.
40 and
You
like
know, flatheads live.
40 and a glass of bourbon.
You're gonna get
Around a
that
fire.
tomorrow. It's gonna be 45 for a high.
We probably need to hit up a liquor store. I'm gonna need
Well, it's going to be 5 for a high here. So
How much?
enjoy.
Not jealous.
What did
Bullhead.
you say it was going to be?
The 5 degrees.
5. Yeah. It's like -7 here now.
It's that cold. I didn't realize it was
Yeah.
that cold.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
wicked.
it's
The wind.
dumb.
Is it
Like
windy
20
too?
20 mile an hour to the
Yeah.
north, I think.
Straight out of the north.
You ever think about times like that? What it'd be like to be a deer or a turkey?
I think about
How they even survive.
I think
that
about
shit.
hunting.
My daughter's school is now canceling tomorrow already.
Yeah. Is it
They
too
just-
cold?
Well, that and we're supposed to get another 6 inches of snow tonight.
Oh, that'll do
this
it.
type of weather is when you're like sitting downwind of a bean field.
Oh yeah, this would be
Oh,
a
my
great
God.
time to kill a deer, but just like surviving overnight when it's
think
-7 and
it's
blowing
hard-
30 mile an hour.
That's why they
I
make
mean, we could
ravines.
never
You'll find
understand
every
'cause we
deer in
couldn't,
the
like-
county in a ravine right now.
The way they feel is so much different than we.
It has to be, otherwise
Well,
you would
obviously it
go
does.
crazy.
It's the same reason why they don't ever want to move when it's warm. When we're like, "Ooh, this is beautiful weather," we're like, especially in like November.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know, it'd be like us wearing a wool sweater in July.
Yeah, there's got to be something to that.
Which is crazy because you look at a deer hide and it's not like they're, a husky. They don't have super long hair.
Right.
No,
and
but they
skin
got
one, but
you
you
know what
skin
I'm
one
talking
and
about.
they're not like super fatty.
They do have a layer. They do build up quite a layer of fat though when you kill them late. There's a difference between an early season and a late season deer.
Yeah, that's true.
How they're hiding, the thickness and the layer of fat, and the way their fur is set up, it's
very dense.
It's dense and it wicks moisture. It's the same idea as like waterfowl and their feathers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Same exact concept.
Every time I'm freezing my butt off hunting deer and I see one swimming across the river, I'm like, that one's retarded.
Oh yeah. I told you a story about how we saw a couple fall over the Center Street Dam in downtown Des Moines.
You did?
Me and Sam Thompson did. It was early in the morning, and it's just getting light. And
So to paint this picture, the Center Street Dam is a low-head dam that has water spilling over the top of it. Yeah. And you saw deer spill over the top of it.
So it's just getting light, and I say to Sam, I was like, is that two logs just floating out? What the hell is that? It's like, and then we were like, it almost looks like two, shark dorsal fins sitting out of the water there crossing the river. And I was like, no, those are deer. And oh shit, they're not going to make it.
All right.
and they fall over the low. We watch them fall over the Lowhead Dam, and there was actually bridge construction going on. It was when they were working on the Grand Avenue Bridge.
Yep.
And so they had this big barge, and they got sucked under that, and then they popped out of that, and they were still alive. And we watched them go all the way down river and out of sight, and then they went over the street and maybe got out after that if they weren't too stressed.
I can't believe they popped up.
Yeah, I couldn't. They got out of all that reticulating. They fell over it and got out of all of it.
Wow.
The water was really high, and I think that reticulating current actually is not as.
Yeah, the higher the water, the more
it pushes them out. Yeah. It's actually better when it's high.
That makes sense.
Seems kind of ass backwards, but it's true. Yeah.
So my story to follow up your story is I was going to meet Sam to ice fish. And I drove over this creek that had a bridge, and there was a deer that was walking towards me. So I slowed down, and it got up on the bridge and then just freaked out all of a sudden and jumped off of the bridge.
The suicidal deer.
Yeah. And I didn't take the time to check on it because I was late to meet Sam.
Shockingly.
So,
no surprise.
There was a video went viral. I think it was somewhere around the Cedar Rapids area where there was a herd of deer, like a couple of big bucks too, and they got spooked out of somewhere, and somehow they ended up in the middle of a bridge and
just jumped.
Yeah, they all leaped over. And
similar, I saw a video of one jumping off the mile long at Saylorville, and that's at normal pool. That's like a 40+ foot drop.
Yeah.
I don't know if it survived. I would assume it. Well, if any critter is going to live, it's going to be a deer.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can take a SUV to the ass and limp on it, limp away, you're fine.
How many deer have you seen swimming?
Quite a bit. I couldn't put a number, 30-ish.
Yeah. I almost ran one over the other day.
In your boat?
Surprise,
in my boat.
Did he have the right of way, or did you have the right of way?
If we're looking at like rules of the road from a navigability standpoint, I had the right of way.
He was coming from your left.
No, I was in a power driven vessel.
Pedestrians always have the right of way, bud.
Only on the road, not the river, bud.
Learn your captain's license stuff.
Yeah.
Did you have your lights on?
I passed. I'm a licensed captain. I'm only going to respond to you, Bobby, from here on out if you call me Captain Bauer. Captain.
I might as well hang on. I might as well get off now.
Sir Captain Bauer, if you will.
Professor Captain Bauer.
What was Sam calling me? Lord Bauer for a while.
Lord Bauer.
Bauer.
Lord Bauer, the man who invented flathead fishing.
Have you heard from Sammy lately?
Me and him had a good conversation probably in December.
Yeah.
He was driving. Well, maybe it wasn't December. He was driving out west to go kill a mule deer, and
Nice.
he was on I-80 and board for probably so many hours, and I was on his list of people that
You're the one that picked up.
Yep.
That's awesome.
He went out there. He killed one. I need to get a hold of him. He was supposed to go to Africa on a safari hunt.
I knew he had some crazy ass hunts coming up this
And
year.
it was I don't remember what it was. It might already be over. I haven't talked to him since then, so he might be done.
Damn.
The whole Sam Squatch.
Yeah, I can't remember. The way it worked was you could kill. It was like a zebra, a warthog, and something else. And then if you wanted anything else, you had to pay more for it.
Yeah, it's usually a trophy fee as well.
Right, like everything,
Yeah.
like the biggest,
It's another
coolest
10
things
grand.
cost more.
Yeah, the more dangerous it gets, the more like
Right.
lions are expensive, Cape
Right.
buffalo are expensive.
Right.
I priced it out. We were about to go on one. I was going to shoot a kudu and maybe a couple other
Mhm.
things.
Yeah.
That were cool on the
I want
wall.
the Walmart version of
I
the
thought about doing the Cape buffalo. It was like the Cape buffalo was like 10 grand. I was like, oh man, I
God.
don't want one of those big magnum heads on my wall, but
I'll just take
Big
good
money.
pictures.
yeah, it is big money.
No, it's all about how you look at it too. You know, if you're somebody who doesn't do those things often, but when you want to do them, you want to go all in. Like I totally get it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then you go to the guys' shops that they have a, 80 by 200 shop and it's all exotic heads. You're like, this is the guy I want to work for.
The clients that I took out Monday and Tuesday, Bob Cords was Bob and Scott, but Bob he's an engineer, recently retired, started a guide business up on Lake Vermilion in Minnesota, predominantly fly fishing, but he does all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Cool dude. Like I had a lot of fun having them in the boat. And he was telling me about how a guy he knows went on an African safari hunt, killed an elephant, and then built a whole wing on his house for the head mount.
How's it?
Like just for
Okay,
the
so
the head mount.
how did he have to get like replica of the ivory then? He probably had to.
I don't know.
I'm pretty
I
sure,
think so.
You can't legally
Yeah.
transport the ivory. Yeah, it's
It's frowned
I think-
upon.
I'm so in the dark on that. I didn't even think to ask those things.
Yeah, my dad and I did a Canadian flying trip, and there was this dentist from Pennsylvania. He must have been freaking loaded, but he did an African safari, and the taxidermy he brought back was insane. He killed a Cape buffalo and a lion, and he had the lion with his claws in the back of the Cape buffalo, the whole thing in his basement. I'm like,
That'd take up a whole wall. Would that even fit in this room?
no, probably not. Barely. You wouldn't be able to get it through that door.
You
right
have to
here
be
into
catty
that.
cornered. You have to build a door
Nuts.
to get it in here.
Yeah, he showed us some of the stuff. It was just nuts. Like he killed everything, like the whole damn menu. Like
Took out the
yeah, he ordered the whole right side of the menu. Yeah, leopards. Yeah, I think he had 2 lions.
Everybody in the Lion King.
Yeah, all the Plains game.
I went with 87 rounds, and that's what I came back with 0.
Didn't buy them bullets for decoration, boys. We're here to
That's
shoot.
right. We're gonna send them.
Yeah, the one we looked at though, it was like a standard, like it was like 10 grand, and then there's like a menu, and then it's on top of that is your trophy fees, and for little or nothing, like warthogs, a lot of the smaller plains game, you can choose, hyenas, things like that. You can shoot whatever, but once you get into the dangerous stuff or the highly sought after, that's when it
Shit will kill you.
yeah. Well, it's true. Like leopard is one because you gotta hunt those bastards at night. They're nocturnal.
Yeah, they have the advantage.
Different ways you
Just
can shoot them
lucky
with
to shoot
thermals, but the way I saw it is they have a bait. The bait's hung in the tree. You tie a string to the bait and all the way, and then you tie the other side of that string around your finger and then just wait for the tug. Kind of like
What if you wanted something live versus dead?
Yeah, all of a sudden you start feeling that tug. It's like, on the that bait is a leopard trying to grab that whatever you leg of
Just tie it to your
that
toe.
gazelle,
in case you fall
leg
asleep.
or zebra leg that you put up there, and And you
Jeez.
flip on the lights and grease them.
I'd just clip a bell to it.
Yeah, they do that too. Yeah, a little bell, but I think that the only problem with that is it startles the cat. So
I think I'll just stick to turkey hunting.
Yeah.
Look up about some turkey
Y'all
hunting.
over there killing
Hey,
Mufasa.
don't peck your eye out. You got to be aware.
They won't get close enough to me, bud.
I'm looking forward to killing a couple of turkeys.
Usually it's the other way around. I ain't worried about them attacking me. They're worried about me attacking them.
Seems to be a very good population this year. So
Really?
yeah, according to my trail camera.
Another dry spring.
Yeah, they're doing well. So
That's true. It wasn't a fairly dry
lot of
spring.
turkeys.
No, I'm
We
jacked
didn't
up.
get rain till later.
Well, I'm supposed to get my boat in April, so I should have it in time to go run the river, do a little white bass, channel cat fishing, and morning turkey hunting.
You happen to hear a gobble, you might go after them.
I'll have the camo, I'll have a tag, and I'll have a gun sitting in there. I even bought a waterproof gun case.
Me and a
just
couple
for
other
us.
guys are talking about doing that. Just
That's what's awesome about the Des Moines River. There's so much public access around there.
By Iowa standards, there's a lot of public access.
Well,
That's
that's what
what-
I'm used to.
Yeah. I think Iowa, the only states that are worse for public access than Iowa is Texas. And I think Iowa is the 45th or 46th worst state in the country for public access.
that's per
Wow.
capita, I assume.
Per capita.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you said Texas is like
Well, Texas might be the worst.
per capita or
We'll just
in general.
In general, like I will shoot your ass.
as
Yes.
far as public.
I've been watching Landman, okay, so
Yeah.
I gotta know what's going on there.
That's my favorite show lately, man.
It's pretty
I
good.
just started it, so don't ruin anything.
I
'cause
won't
I'm
ruin
loving
nothing,
it.
but I will
See
say
what
you'll
happens
enjoy
is-
it.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
like Billy Bob Thornton as
Yeah.
classic Billy Bob Thornton, that is it. He is basically just like he is in Bad Santa and any of those other.
Hold on. I got two people asking about Snoopy. I still got Snoopy, and I actually thought about bringing him down here, and then I forgot.
Shocker.
Yeah.
If that's not a Spencer statement, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
I was going to, and then I forgot. So, yeah, Snoopy's still around. Snoopy will make a comeback when I remember.
That night that we went south of us and fished off that sandbar point, and you got I don't know, he was high 30s, probably. But it was so much fun.
My Snoopy record is 43.
But it was literally 8 feet off the sand is where he casted.
That enhances everything.
Yeah. And he hit that rod. It was just a boil. I was like, woo! It was
Hey,
awesome.
You know how you hear the toilet bowl flush when they suck a bait down?
Oh, yeah.
The only time I've ever seen it happen in my life as I heard it happen was fishing with Rob.
True story.
When we were fishing with Josh down in Iowa. And we caught one. It wasn't very much longer after that, half hour or less.
But it was right off the sand?
No, we were on the cut bank side.
Oh, okay.
Because of how the water set up, and there was a little spot that was muddy, and then it leveled out a little bit. And we're like, well, it's not ideal, but it's all right. So, and that's probably our best shot at a fish based on them water conditions. So we set up there, and we had a pretty good night. We caught four or five.
I can't remember the total.
That's a pretty damn good night.
Yeah, a couple of them over 30 pounds, and one of the 30 pounders was heard the toilet bowl flush, and then half hour later Rod takes off. So who knows if it was the same fish or not? But I like
to
to
watch that video again because I remember the one I caught. I remember we were sitting there chatting.
Well, you
We were
had
talking about the difference of the bullhead, you know, doing its little thing. And
oh yeah, it's like
and you're like you'll know when it goes because the rod will just fold over, and then like as soon as you said that, the rod like that.
That's funny.
You know, there's something to be said with a feeding time though. When you start hearing the bait fish get more active and you hear the toilet flushes, that's usually when you're going to get a bite.
See,
If everything's dead and still, I don't have a whole lot of confidence, but you start hearing action out of nowhere, it's go time.
And you're absolutely right. There's always some exceptions, but man, it's funny how you hear stuff moving and splashing, and that's when you get bit. And that's one thing I do miss about small water, being down here on the big waters. You don't get that. Everything that's happening is happening 20 to 50 feet down below you.
That's true.
Yeah.
And that's where those submerged trees come and play.
Yeah.
You just got to have the right sonar.
Being down here, I've learned how to utilize the sonar so much more.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
Wouldn't catch a damn fish otherwise down here.
You don't catch fish anyway.
I literally put a 71 in the boat on Monday, which is bigger than anything you put in the boat since you went with somebody else calling the shots, Bobby.
Yeah.
Just
I
saying.
didn't say I caught fish.
Just saying.
That was not my statement.
When's the last time you caught an 80, Bobby?
With Cody?
When it was when?
No, last November?
03?
Yeah. Caught it 1906.
Back in my day.
I'll tell you, 94, I had a good year. I'll tell you.
I did too. I wasn't here yet.
What?
Oh yeah, you're just a baby.
I was a junior in
95,
fucking
baby.
high school.
95.
Making me feel old now.
I was a junior in high school just kicking Flathead's ass off the bank.
Y'all are crazy.
We're not
what
that crazy.
You're just
You
You're
are,
just human.
Spencer.
All right. Well, let's take the time to do a little last cast action. Who wants to start her off?
Brian?
Bobby, you got to go to bed. You ought to start it off.
Well, thank you guys for, coming in, joining in, talking to us, and, watching us cut up and stuff. And, I appreciate y'all supporting not only me, but everybody on here. And tight lines. Hopefully see y'all at the Catfish Conference. But if not, hopefully see y'all in the water.
Oh, it'll be a good time. You should all go to Catfish Conference.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I wish I could make it.
I wish you could too.
Some year I'm gonna go. I've said that for years, but I just haven't. That's a tough time of year. There's just a lot of shit going on.
Right.
It went from going to the state tournament wrestling, and now it's going to watch Iowa. And I'm gonna make a habit to get down there because it sounds like a blast.
Oh, man. It's a lot of fun.
I think our electricity might go out. We got some big thunderstorms going through right now. We've had 5 inches of rain, I think, the last 18 hours, and we're supposed to get another 1 or 2 coming up.
Well,
Welcome down, Rob. You want to see what Mudcat looks like?
Yeah.
Hey.
I think we're gonna beat the living piss out of them tomorrow. I just got a good.
I don't think we'll tear them up tomorrow. I think we'll do okay. I think we'll tear them up Friday.
Well,
That's my prediction.
I just got that good old fashioned feeling, Spencer.
Are we thinking?
I'm okay with beating them up tomorrow too.
Yeah.
Are we thinking creek mouths, or are you going to push up to a dam?
What?
Are you thinking creek mouths, or are you going to push up to a dam?
We're going to do a creek mouth tomorrow, and then Friday we'll probably hang out at a dam.
Yeah.
Well, my last cast, Bobby, buy a coffee pot. That's the first one.
Step 1, check.
The second one is I'm jacked up for turkey season, and turkey season isn't for 2 months, month and a half, 2 months, depending on where you're at. But this is the time of year where I start geeking out on turkey hunting videos and all that stuff. I need to figure out how to do these streams from my phone. That's something I'm going to work towards. The last 2 weeks we haven't had a live podcast, but it's because I've been sleeping on a riverbank, sitting around a campfire, which I think would be really cool for a podcast. I just need to figure out how to do that with multiple guests, but that's something I'm gonna work on. Time frame, undecided. Like, not undecided, but just depends on how smart I am, and I'm not very smart, so it might take some time.
That's a
2
fact.
months. Yeah.
I'm gonna keep chipping away at it. But the number one thing is thanks to everyone who took the time to listen, hop on, enjoy, and I really hope you enjoyed it.
And he hopes you catch a giant.
I do hope you catch a giant. Rob, you got anything to throw in there?
I hope they catch a giant too.
Yep.
Yeah. Turkey season sounds fun. I think there's.
You've turkey hunted before, right?
I've killed
A couple times.
Yeah. Been known to kill turkey.
Mostly off season, but
Yes. Out of roll down the window of the
yeah,
truck.
that's right. 22. Hell yeah.
Oh,
Is that cheating? Is that not?
No, I mean they taste the same.
I heard someone told me it was just frowned upon.
yeah.
I was like, well, that's just frowning. I don't.
That's
bother
kind of the
me.
way that's the line I tell.
No, it's just new beginnings, right? Like one season ends, another one begins.
One door closes, another
Yeah,
one.
I'm not a big ice fisherman, so I'm not really sad to see winter go. I'm ready to see open water on the river. Ryan, we should sync up and catch a one of those fish that has a little spot at the bottom of their tail there.
That's
Yeah.
a walleye, Ryan.
I'm
I
in
don't want to tip too many people off about
because I am a big ice fisherman, but I cannot wait for the ice to go away.
Yeah. No, I'm just the consistency of weather. The only thing that sucks is with spring, and what pisses me off with spring is there's a correlation between that good weather and better fishing, but it also brings out all the people too.
That's true.
Yeah.
And then all those people come out and they're inevitably going to have more success, which compounds the problem.
Yes.
And that's always my gripe with spring.
Fair enough.
But
And-
February in your area has been consistently pretty top notch because a lot of people don't come out. But if you put the time in,
Put the
you
time in.
get some good fish.
There's two things I've learned is when the fishing's really, really good and all of the key spots are just flooded with people, that's when you need to go exploring, not when the fishing's slow. And then the other thing too is timing.
Sure.
Go when they're not there. Go
Yeah.
when people aren't willing to do it. And lots of times that is the other thing that's been paid
Yes.
great dividends for me.
Million. Well, and the one that really resonated with me was where you said when the bite's good, you go exploring because that's when you really discover where they go.
Yeah.
When the
Yes.
bite-
When they're pressured out of
If they're not
spot
biting at the
areas.
good spots, why would you think they're gonna? Yeah,
It's hard to
and
find.
then it's a timing thing. It's been a thing I've been struggling with. Not to go on this big tangent, but like small bite windows. Okay, do I go to my tried and true spot that I like to fish, knowing that the bite window is maybe an hour at best?
True.
Or is that you take a chance on it somewhere else and then you have to like stick it out? Like it's easy to go 20 minutes without a bite, and it's like, well, the sun hasn't even set yet, so you got to grind it out a little bit longer.
But you know as well as I do, a good hour of walleye fishing is a good day. I mean, you may fish for 6 hours, but if you get a good hour of fishing out of those 6 hours, that's a pretty good day.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. But just maximizing your time too, and especially when you don't have all that, like on the weekdays when you have to work. I'm a 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 guy. That's just
You're chasing the sun when you
white
get off
collar.
work.
Yes. Well, so yeah, that's the most painful thing is we'll get into that time of year where there's a lot of walleyes that are biting middle of the day and there's nothing I can do about it. And then you hear about it and it's like, yeah, exactly. I was just like, fuck this shit. I'm fishing, right?
Fuck you.
yes. I'm out. You're cool.
All right. I changed Bobby's name to Ugly because I just discovered you could do that. On that note, everyone have a great night. TA will cover rigs next go around, and Had a good time, guys. See ya.
Yeah,
Thanks,
appreciate
guys.
y'all.
See you guys soon.
See ya.